Hey folks, we're the UnPanders. Today we're going to talk a little bit about fire, earth, wind, water, and heart. No, I'm not talking about Captain anything. I'm talking about our planet. Why don't you join us? We get into the nitty gritty of what makes this earth work. Ooh.
So I'm Dan.
And I'm Nick, folks.
We're old friends dissecting one topic at a time. People, technology, media, we've got it all covered.
Each discussion here is a deep dive into our unique perspective. Taboo, forbidden subjects, they're all on the chopping block, baby. We don't pander to popular opinion. We might even get a little bit dirty.
Warning, this podcast may contain mature language and sexual content, and is for infotainment purposes only.
So join us. Have a good time.
Open up your ear holes, because we're going to fondle your follicles. Hey there.
Oh, man, I love it. I love it. Don't you love it?
I do enjoy this. It's quite enjoyable.
No, I mean being alive.
Living, breathing.
Yeah. Way better than
exhaling.
being dead. Super better. Well, I'm Nick.
And I'm Dan.
Good. We're just letting you know the visual, you know?
Yeah. Keep us in line.
God forbid anyone thinks he's Nick or I'm Dan.
Yeah. That's why I have my own.
Oh, yeah.
Ba-ding,
I guess that makes
ba-ding.
sense. And mine's there, too.
Can't
Ba-ding.
even point to it.
Anyway.
We do have questions from the crowd.
Oh, crowd questions. Nothing better.
This comes
Nothing
from
better.
one of our previous episodes. It comes from Trump Nuggets 2020.
Ooh.
He
That
says,
could be good.
Nick, could you ever be a porn star for real? Could you?
Nah, probably not. I don't like to fart in front of a lot of people, so I imagine ejaculating would be even harder.
Gets a little. I'm stage fright. I don't know that I could.
Yeah, I think like the other thing is it's acting sexually.
Yeah, it's like.
Like, can you imagine being like, yeah, oh yeah, doing the muscle thing? No,
I would laugh. I would just like, are you kidding me? I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. So, Trump Nugget 2020. I hope to make some videos at some point in my life, and then who knows where they'll end up. But it probably won't be in a major production company
Go
headed
wait.
anywhere in your area.
Wait till you're much, much older.
Wait till I'm much, much older. Then,
Guinness
I
World
mean, there's a
Records.
high demand. Well, there's a high demand for old men with young girls in skirts. It's a great website I can point everyone to after the podcast.
That's a great Turin scroll.
The old torrent scroll. Dirty old men, tight young cash strapped teenage. Anyway, moving on. Any corrections from any previous episodes?
I did have one. It actually relates to this episode.
You're correcting this episode before we're even done, huh?
Yeah, I can see it in the future as well. It comes from the plate tectonics when you asked about the world being at different places geographically. Turns out the world moves about 2 inches per year, which would shift.
That's like how fast fingernails grow.
No way, they grow faster than that.
I have no idea.
You're gonna have to correct this later, you bastard. You jerk. But if we were talking about 10,000 BC, that's about 2,000 feet difference. So
that's a big difference. That's a big lake.
Yeah.
Just opened up.
You'd have to walk an extra half a mile.
Folks.
About
Well,
a little different, I suppose, where you're walking, because the whole landmass could shift with you, and then you wouldn't even. It would be the same to you, unless you were crossing the fissure.
That's true. So today we're going to get into what everyone's been screaming at us ever since we did the pornography episode. I've had people coming up to me on the street, do an episode on air, do an episode on the atmosphere. People were screaming from the back. Someone even threw a rock at me and ran away. I picked up the rock and it said episode on air. And I was like, huh. So I think we got to do an episode on what the air is. How we have like seasons and weather and climate.
Ooh, nice.
I'm
Okay.
getting ahead of myself. I'm dropping all our keywords at once.
What do you got?
Did you research atmosphere?
I did. I most certainly did.
Oh, so we got like a layer cake above the Earth.
Yeah,
right?
different, I guess, thicknesses? What do you call it? Thicknesses?
It's a beautiful layer cake. It starts at around 15,000 kilometers above the Earth's surface.
How many is that in miles? Do you want me to look?
Who the heck knows? I'm trying to go in
Metrics.
I'm trying, because metric is the way to go. It's a science measurement. But you can tell the audience. What's 15 km?
Can you hear me typing?
No, I don't know. No, I couldn't. It was a very quiet keyboard over there.
That's interesting. I have a new keyboard. Oh.
Whoa!
Logitech keys to go. I
That's crazy.
suggest it for everyone who wants to be.
You should sell it. You should sell it. Sorry, I'm screaming here. Woo! But 15,000 kilometers? Or 15 kilometers?
I messed it up. Hold on a second. Earth miles.
Well, I'll do a little reference point because we're going to need it anyway.
9.3 miles.
Building is... Oh, cool. So it's like 9.5 miles straight up. Pew!
Yeah, which I don't know how relative that is to anybody, but 9 miles.
Right. But now at least I got a number. It makes sense.
Uh-huh.
The tallest building in the world is 828 meters. Less than 1,000 meters, but it's very tall. It's the one in the city with the made-up islands
Dubai.
And stuff, and it's super rich. Thank
Dubai.
you.
Yep.
Dubai. Thank you. I was like, it has its own fake island. The tallest mountain, by contrast, is 8,800 kilometers. Actually, 10 times taller.
What?
Roughly.
8? What was that?
8.8
8
kilometers.
Okay. So
Yeah,
5
sorry.
miles-ish.
Right. And that is Mount Everest, everyone's favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So then we go up about double Mount Everest, and we're at the troposphere, the very top of the troposphere.
Oh.
That's awesome, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And then we go above that, we got the stratosphere,
Nice.
the mesosphere,
Nice.
the thermosphere, and then the exosphere.
Huh.
I remember it by doing a little acronym backwards. Every time my son tickles cats.
Every time my son tickles cats.
If you have this in school, every time my son tickles cats. It's exosphere, thermosphere, mesosphere, stratosphere, troposphere, crust. Pretty good,
Mantle?
right? We can go all the way in,
Yeah,
too.
keep going deeper.
Crust,
Like the-
mantle, outer core, inner core. Oh!
Deep as the coolest super deep borehole.
Oh,
Which is
man.
one of your favorite ones. Unless you want to stay with
That
atmosphere.
is.
You can stay on atmosphere.
I'm saving it. Atmosphere only. So anyway, all this stuff sits like a blanket on top of the Earth. And they break it down into layers. Makes total sense to me.
Uh-huh.
It runs at its highest, the exosphere is 10,000 kilometers above us. There are arguments about how high it goes because eventually you're just, like, the air particles are so far apart that you're touching space.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the satellites are. I was waiting to see what 10,000
I'm trying to figure out
kilometers was.
magnetosphere.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Several hundred kilometers above Earth is the magnetosphere. Have you heard about that?
I didn't have it in here, but yeah, I do know. Is that our magnetic field?
Yeah, it's our protection from...
Weird. That's between the thermosphere and the exosphere, right?
You are correct, I believe.
Because that's why Aurora Borealis happened between
That's one of the coolest things, is that we've never seen it because we don't live near the poles. But the International Space Station sees it every day. You get solar wind from the sun.
You see that every day?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm going. That should have been the job I went for.
Yeah. A little different track than life, but it's okay. You'll get there. Why
I
not?
still could.
Yeah, I guess.
You don't know. You don't know. My man is throwing man up into space. Who was it? Elon Musk. Who never got back to us with the charity, but we're not going to hold on
It's
against
okay.
him.
Yeah.
We'll see. But he's trying to send people to space, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. He's got his own gimmicks. I don't know if he hasn't gotten a human rating yet, so
Okay.
he might.
Is he human? Is he human, actually?
he's
I actually read that he's part lizard person. I don't know.
I don't know. I've never seen him talk. I've only seen someone else's mouth. When they dubbed over his mouth. He probably can't speak with that lizard tongue of his.
Well, real quick stat on the atmosphere for you. 50% of its weight and mass
Is in the
just
bottom.
mass, in the bottom 5 kilometers.
That makes sense because the force of gravity is pulling everything down.
Correct. Now, do you know how much 1 square inch of it weighs if you weighed it all the way to the top of the exosphere? So where you're standing on Earth, 1 square inch.
How much it weighs? You're talking about like 1 atmosphere?
Yes.
Like the literal 1 atmosphere of pressure?
Yes. Yeah.
That's my answer.
Oh, okay. It has an actual weight that we can translate into something people at home might know.
Oh, I have no idea.
14.7 pounds.
Oh, 14.7
Isn't that
pounds.
cool? So each inch of the Earth is supporting 14.7 pounds of atmosphere.
Is it 14.73 or is it 14.37?
14.7. Someone did the math and figured out how many square inches there are on the Earth's surface. So we have a weight for how much atmosphere there is. You ready?
Sure.
6 quadrillion tons atmosphere.
6
floating
quadrillion
around us.
tons.
Yeah, that's a lot. You
quite a
would think it
bit.
would come crashing down, right? It's just spread out so far. So far. So thin, especially at the top and like the exosphere and all
Yeah,
that.
how high can you go up when you can still breathe? I mean, you can't go up Everest without assistance.
Actually, it's like 90% of the way up Everest, you run into what's called the oxygen zone. It's probably around 8,000 kilometers, where it's too dangerous to go by yourself without like assistance or oxygen help or tanks or a mask and all this.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
8,000.
8,500.
No, it's 8,000. They say 8,000.
Okay. I guesstimated, but
Yeah.
we geniuses guesstimate often.
So that's kind of crazy that you need oxygen to live, and the Earth just happens to have it. And if you go too high, you're dead.
You know what's crazy? Now that you mention it, I jumped out of a plane to do a parachute thing. I think I was 10,000. No, that was feet or 15,000 feet.
Yeah. Should be lower.
It was really high. I paid an extra whatever to go higher. But anyway, I could breathe. So that's a good point. Do you know where the ozone resides? Everyone always talks about the ozone protects us. The atmosphere protects us.
Was that mesosphere?
Nah, it's too high. It's
That's
a little
too high?
lower. It's
It's
between the
stratosphere?
tropo and the stratosphere. It's right between the two, kind of.
Huh. Ozone layer. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of closer than I thought. I didn't realize.
It's actually right where Mount Everest, like the peak of Mount Everest, is the middle of the ozone.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of neat.
Huh.
People always
That's
talk
cool.
about that because it used to be what? CFCs? Carbon fluoro somethings?
Yeah, carbo, fluoro, and carbon.
I don't know what they are. I should look this up before I submit.
Carbo, fluoride.
No,
Fluoride?
chlorofluorocarbon. Sorry.
Damn,
I reversed the carbon.
secondary word.
Chlorofluorocarbon. CFCs from the spray cans and all that stuff. People
Oh, dude,
always
they were in
use
styrofoam. In styrofoam production, cardboard, they're in a lot of things. So, did you know in 1987 they passed the Montreal Protocol?
it.
They banned the production of CFCs in most of our day-to-day products.
That's awesome. We saved the planet, guys.
Well, do you know they actually estimate that the hole in the ozone that everyone always used to talk about, the one in the South Pole, I think it was? Or
Yeah, there's one
I
above
think it's-
Australia, too.
Okay.
Australians freak
Anyway.
out about it because their cancer rates go way up.
They figure that by 2050, if we maintain our CFC levels and all that it'll be back to normal.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's pretty cool.
We're protected again. Yay!
Hey, but anyway, like all this atmosphere stuff, like what does it do? It holds everything in.
Yeah.
It keeps harmful radiation from getting in there. It's got the
Mhm.
ozone in there. Everyone friggin' loves the ozone.
Yeah.
People are lining up to sign autographs from the ozone. Sometimes the ozone just shows up and women are dropping their panties. Everyone's going nuts, and the ozone layer is just standing here like, here I am, folks. Kiss these biceps. Whew.
You gonna kiss
Sorry,
him?
got all. No, I wouldn't kiss an ozone bicep if it paid me. I hate the ozone layer. I wish we were closer to the sun. I make CFCs in my basement. Oops. I apologize. A little joke, folks.
That's how you save
Little
money.
Anyway, the atmosphere is awesome. It's great. The atmosphere is also the reason why we have such crazy stuff going on.
Huh.
Atmosphere, along with the tilt of our planet, creates
Seasons? Weather?
winds. Whoa, and weather.
Wow,
Holy smokes,
wow.
folks.
That's so cheesy.
How did we get here?
Good job.
Yeah, I was just trying to transition.
Yeah. When we take over?
You can do all the rest. I'm done. Yeah, I hate seasons. I hate weather. I hate climate. I hate them all.
You wish you were persistently the same?
Closer to this.
Yeah, summertime?
5 feet away from this. No, the sun. I eventually want to be launched into the sun.
So interestingly enough, it's going to be one of the hottest weeks of the year coming up, and we film these way ahead of time. So by the time it actually launches, it's going to be probably snowing outside.
Ooh.
Yeah, December-ish maybe.
Gross. Ooh, this is December?
Mm-hmm.
Feels awful at home in your computer. Thank you for bringing us into here.
Yeah,
into your
keep
home,
you nice and warm and toasty with our bright colored shirts and tropical sensations.
Sunlight.
But, hot weather and the Coriolis effect, it causes...
Coriolis effect? What the flying hell is that?
So the sphere of the Earth, the middle, the equator, spins faster, which causes wind to blow faster and cause rotation. So the more rotation you get, the faster the hurricane. And then it eventually spins away from the equator and hits something, and hopefully it doesn't destroy too much.
This is wild and crazy.
It also
wild and crazy kids.
Wild and crazy kids. It's hard not to think about that. That's like the sound of a dodgeball, like kicking the giant rubber.
Boom,
Yeah.
boom, bing, boom, boom.
You see one
That's
of
a
those.
good kick right there.
Yeah.
So what's crazy is the Earth being tilted and all,
Mm-hmm.
the sun also hits it at different angles.
Mm-hmm.
Hits the equator like spot on. There's like this little dime piece right here where the sun is just shining, gives it this nice, bright, hot little circle. Just a dirty little circle you want to teach it a lesson. Whereas near the poles, it's more spread out. So there's less energy per square inch going on. A little colder. There's not as much direct sunlight hitting that bad boy.
Yeah, because it's the atmosphere acts as like sunglasses. It reflects off the top of it.
It's got to go through more atmosphere. Got to go through more troposphere, more stratosphere, mesosphere. And by the time the sunlight reads all these names, it's exhausted.
Yeah, it gets tired and turns away because it's an indirect ray of light.
It's like, oh my God, this is a lot of work. So it also heats up the center more. And these heat zones, what do you call them? Convection?
You can call them
heats up certain zones on the Earth.
Yeah, so convective zones, that makes sense.
Correct. Oh, shoot. So the real big one, the mainstay, the big boy right by the equator is called the Hadley cell. Creates these like cells, like right there. I think you had that. Did you write that down?
I like that. Is that the hurricane? Is that a hurricane starter or is that a thunderstorm starter?
It kind of is. It's a weather starter in general. So the Hadley cell is like, it's shaped like a circle, convection, because it's heating up and this heat rises,
pulling everything up.
And while it's doing this, the Earth is still spinning. It's not standing still. So the air is going straight up, but the Earth is still spinning. It causes this like weird circular thing to happen. You get these cells that form all over the place. They aren't just in water. This is in the air. You get another cell right above it called the Phaly or Mid-Atlantic or something zone. I think it's called the Phaly.
Farther north or just...
Correct. Farther north or south. Away from the poles.
Away from the equator.
Yep. And then the last one they have that's generally considered the polar. And it's much smaller. It's not as big a zone. It's like kind of like,
Yeah, it listlessly kind of floats there and it does nothing. And you're just like, get off of me. I'm tired of you.
Hates its life, hates its job, hates its family, hates everyone.
Yeah, no one wants to be on the poles.
No. Yeah. But all that stuff's crazy. And then you got the whole spin of the Earth and the Coriolis effect, everything going on. All these crazy wild things happening in the air form our atmospheric circulation.
Yeah.
You combine that with all the stuff going on in the water, which we didn't even get into, all the jet streams, saline solutions, distribution, like where water gets salty in some spots and then has to lose all its salt and move, and then heats up and goes up, and then collects more salt and moves down here, and then runs into a coastline here, and there's a jet stream here, and there's landmass that gets in the way here, and then it absorbs more salt, and it sinks because now it's heavier and it's colder. What did I say? I just woke up.
It seems like there's a weird pattern here that's circular, cyclic and circular.
It's both. This is going on in the air. It's going on in the water. It's going on everywhere.
Yeah, if we didn't have that tilt and we weren't rotating, we'd be dead, I think. I think that's the way it works.
We would, but weather would be so much easier to predict.
I don't know. There's certain planets that are locked.
300 degrees Fahrenheit, boom.
So certain planets have like a geosynchronous orbit, that means like a face is always pointing towards the sun, and that face superheats while the other one is super frozen. It's like the moon.
Cold. Yeah.
The moon is always has a dark side, and it's super, super cold, and it can't survive on it.
I think it's synchronous with us.
With us, yeah.
The sun.
So it probably won't be super cold.
I didn't want a correction for the.
No, we'll see that.
What's real cool is all those things I was just talking about, like the crazy circulation in the air and the water. This stuff happens over the surface of the water and stuff.
Yep.
I was going to say it leads to the El Nino Southern Oscillation.
Oh, El Nino. How old is El Nino? That was a huge thing because it created a bunch of rain that hit California, and a bunch of people in California care about it because it then caused mudslides and destroyed their homes. It
reminds me of Armiro's Muddy Death from 1959, where an entire town was just, they were sitting in their houses and a mudslide happened overnight. Killed like everyone because it just happened overnight. Like 400 people dead. You look it up. It was a long time ago. I even think I got the date wrong. I'm remembering something from when I was like 16. So. But I was always like, you can't die because of mud. But it drowned people in their homes.
I wouldn't say it's the mud. I think it's the rain that killed them.
I mean, the mud, they couldn't get their cars out and stuff. Like they were like stuck. Like everything sucks.
It's not. I like how emotionless you are right now. It sucks. It's terrible.
Sucks. Anyway. El Nino and La Nina.
Yeah, that's the other one. That's like a cooling, right?
But but it's like, well, it depends where you are because it's heating in a different area across the Pacific, I think. Cooling over here, and then it's a heating over here, cooling over there. Depends where you are. Yeah. But either way, it goes in ebbs and flows. Like there's a heavy.
It screws with people like fishing too, because then if the fish die in certain areas, they move away. Like I remember,
everything's crazy, and it's what?
It's like Chile had like a real big issue. Like South America couldn't fish those waters, and those people depended upon it. So it's like, you're screwed. And then it's like, what do I do? Nothing. Oops, you're screwed.
What?
It's our vacation paradise. It's our hotel.
So what? We talked about the Earth. It's 79% water, 21% land.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, cool.
Take it.
What is the air made of?
Oxygen. Not in this order. Nitrogen's the first one. Nitrogen's what, like 60-something percent?
78%.
78%.
Holy smokes, we are nitro rich here, huh?
Oxygen's 21%.
21%. That's right.
Carbon dioxide. The next one?
Nope. Good old argon.
Oh, argon.
0.9% argon. What a fool! I can't believe you didn't get argon. Whatever. Carbon dioxide makes up 0.03%.
Yeah, I don't know these things.
Yeah, do a little research for the podcast next time.
I'm gonna slam you. I'm gonna slam you in the next one.
Gonna come with a binder. We're talking about Halloween. No, we already did that.
Oh, yeah, you got me on that one too.
And then neon, helium, methane. Like those are some cool trace amounts that hang out in our skies. What's crazy is nobody talks about nitrogen. It's like such a waste. Like
it's an inner
chemical. Like I'm breathing it in. I'm like, oh no! Honey, did you breathe in nitrogen?
It's one of the things they tell you with I want to say there's like a not a suicide mask, but yes, there's when they execute prisoners, they'd put a mask on top of them and then they'd breathe in nitrogen. You can't tell that you're breathing in nitrogen, so if you're breathing in enough, you just pass out and then you die. If they do it right, which I hope they do it right.
You do it right.
Yeah.
God bless.
That's one of the stories about, so I had to work with nitrogen for my job, purging something. So you purge with nitrogen because it's inert and it protects, things from getting corroded. So
it's inert. It also won't react with anything, right? Is that what you're telling everyone else?
Yep. So one of the warnings is that if you pump it out too quickly, you can fill the room with nitrogen and you won't know it.
You wouldn't know it because you won't smell it.
It's also heavier. So if you're on the ground and you fill the room with nitrogen and like bend down to pick something up, you're probably going to pass out. And people are going to be like, oh, I passed out. And then like everyone bends down to pick you up and then they pass out too because it's filled.
Because it goes to the bottom of the room. Oh, I didn't know that. So next time you do see someone pass out, Do
Get
not
away
pick
from
them
them.
up. Tiptoe right next to them. Just tiptoe over the bastard.
Yeah, and that
There's
brings up.
probably nitrogen down there.
Have you ever heard of Lake Nyos?
Is that the poison lake?
Yeah, that's the carbon dioxide filled lake.
Yeah.
There was
They noticed reddish bubbles and reddish rust colored stains on the water surface days before.
Yeah, it looks very strange.
Did they ever figure out what caused it? Was it something that was underneath the lake and it came to the surface?
Yeah, there was a
or
volcanic.
Was it a lake? I'm sorry, I'm remembering this from like years ago.
There's a volcanic eruption or a small crater that was formed, and then the sulfur and the carbon dioxide were, I think, already partially in the lake, and then the eruption triggered it so that the carbon dioxide was released in the atmosphere all around and in through the lake. So all of the local villages were literally hit with a wall of carbon dioxide that they couldn't do anything about. People recalled other people dying that were in, also carbon dioxide is low and carbon monoxide as well. So those things were low and along the ground, and they saw like frogs were like starting to die at their feet, and they're like, what the heck's going on? And then they saw other people who are lower to the ground start to pass out, and then it just like hit them. So it wiped out like hundreds of people around this Lake Nyos in a moment. That's how fragile our life is.
Oh, we're getting pretty fragile here.
Yeah.
14 pounds of air above me. Now I'm going to die from weighty gases. Oof.
Yeah, dangerous.
It does sound dangerous.
1,700 people and 3,500 livestock were killed in the eruption. A limnic eruption. Limnic.
That's crazy. Think of how many lives were lost when those livestock went. But what area was it?
This is in Africa, I believe.
No, they don't marry their livestock, so never mind. It's still a sheep, the livestock.
Oh, you're thinking about whales. You thought they were sheep.
I said, yeah, wives. Yeah, sorry. I thought. But that is a shame.
Yeah, Cameroon.
Isn't that where Joel Embiid's from? Could be.
No idea.
Sure. I think he is. Anyway, someone asked me yesterday, why do clouds float? And I thought, that's a crazy question. I have no clue why.
Get quiet.
They're filled with water. So how could they float? Do you know?
What was it? I don't know, actually.
So check this. They're just water vapor
Wispy.
and stuff that's kind of been thrown in the air. They're wispy.
It's scientific. Is it really that they're like snowflakes in the sky?
Apparently, condensation is an endothermic reaction. So they're actually creating a little bit of heat when all this is going on.
They're rising themselves?
Correct. They almost are creating their own balloon, like a hot air balloon effect. I mean, eventually the water vapor reaches a point where it's heavy enough.
Thick enough? Starts to condense?
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Precipitate?
Is it 350 trillion water molecules per cubic foot? Which sounds like a lot, but I don't think it is. It's very light and fluffy. That's why you can like kind of pass through it.
I have my relatable fact of the day.
Whoa.
So when Hurricane Harvey hit, there were 50 inches of rain that poured on Houston. During a normal year, that's the amount we get over the course of a year. So I'm going to use a year as the basis.
Okay.
So how many gallons is that if it's over just an acre of land? So say you're like a farmer.
1 acre?
Yeah.
How big's an acre again? I really am not 100% sure. I can see it by looking at a house kind of, but like I don't know how many feet that is.
Damn imperial units. Acre.
I'm telling you, we should stick with the metric.
I guess it's 43,000 square feet.
43,000 feet. It's a lot of feet, but nothing crazy.
Square feet, yeah. So how much water is that if you have 15 inches of rain on top of an acre?
15 inches of rain over
50.
an acre. No idea.
50.
Oh, 50. No idea.
Yeah. So that's 1 million gallons of water.
What is that, like a reservoir? I have no idea how much is in a reservoir.
Well, it weighs about 8 million pounds if you were to weigh it. I'll put this in relation. So the Earth is doing natural things to give you water constantly, something that we need. You know, our bodies are 75% water. You need every day.
Some of us.
Yeah, you probably drink about a gallon a day.
A gallon a week. A month. A gallon
Stretching
a year.
it out. You're becoming more efficient.
Did you read the Reddit post about the guy who he hadn't drank water in 8 years?
Who's this?
His doctor was like, there's a lot wrong with your body, your kidneys, and stuff
Everything's
like that.
failing. Everything's failing.
Like you're doing really bad. And someone's like, yo, his piss is probably thick and snotty. And someone's like, his body probably is 90% like just solid material that moves barely.
Imagine when you get a cold and you have that crusty stuff you have to get out of your nose.
Ew,
That's
gross.
the tip of his
I didn't
penis.
even think of that.
Does he,
Lucky, what a lucky gal.
he uses a rag instead of a urinal.
Drinking water? Ew.
But
We were bringing, oh, yeah, that's
back
a
to
lot of water.
Yeah, that's a lot of water. So like the whole point is that if you were to do this yourself and bring that much water to your home, your acre,
Jesus.
I calculated this out. So if you had you had a truck and you could carry 1,000 pounds of water, it would take you, and this is a year stat. So every day you'd have to make. I live about 50 miles or 25 miles from the water, round trip 50 miles. It would take 22 trips a day, every day, and you would have to bring, so many, 60 gallons of gas. You'd have to spend 60 gallons of gas every day. It's about $200, and you get about 18 miles per gallon. That's to kind of run it together, and that's to bring, I don't know what what's a million divided by? That's even ridiculous. Hold on a second. I forget the stat. Damn it.
I would Uber.
Yeah, so in order for you to bring 3,000 gallons a day, you'd have to do that. 22 trips in a day, wasting 60 gallons of gas, and spending $200 in gas, and spending probably your entire day hauling water. You would have to...
It sounds like I'm spending a lot of time, money, effort, water, gas, my life, to do what?
To bring what the atmosphere naturally brings you. Imagine if you couldn't bring it to you.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah, well, if our previous episode is any indicator, civilization relies on water and nutrients, and once those things change, like in a Holocene time frame, you get a cold dip, glacial period, you don't get any water. Where do you go?
I don't know.
You die.
We die.
Yeah. Lovely death.
Smiling. Death finds a way, folks. Weird. Do you know why the sky is blue?
Because the red wavelengths get filtered out by the atmosphere.
That's most of it. Do you know why the ocean is blue?
Because the sky is blue?
A little bit. Do you know it has to do with a lot of the chlorophyll in the ocean?
There's chlorophyll in the ocean?
Yes, there is. Just enough. If there was a lot more, I think it would be green. But I think because it's not quite all whatever, it shades the water blue.
Is that like plant-based chlorophyll that gets put? Plankton, spores.
When we get into the very next part, I'll talk about. Let's just jump into it. It's actually, first I did want to touch on a couple things with weather and air and stuff, because we're going to move away from air. We're done with air. We're done with atmosphere.
Whoa.
We're done with it. Oh, you got a lot more?
Yeah. Did you touch on katabatic or anabatic winds?
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Or did you just make it up?
If you're near like a mountain range, like a katabatic wind is a wind that drives downward. So as it moves down the mountain range, it picks up the heat from the mountain range, and then it can hit you like a wall of warmth.
I feel like I felt that before.
Yeah, there's something called chinook winds or foehn winds. So they're adiabatic, which means they contain the heat. It's a reverse of your endothermic or exothermic. It's neither. It just absorbs the heat as it keeps going because it's contained within it.
It moves it. Okay.
Yeah. So have you heard of spearfish?
Here's crazy. No, what's spearfish?
Spearfish, North Dakota.
Go ahead.
It was, I think, -4 degrees Fahrenheit earlier in the morning, and then these Chinook winds.
Yeah, I read about a similar thing in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Ah, interesting.
That's so weird.
So the Chinook winds picked up so much heat that within 2 minutes, the temperature changed 50 degrees. 49 to be exact.
That's impossible. Hold on. I read like one in Bismarck that was like a 25-degree change or something in a few minutes. This is how many degrees?
50 degrees.
Fahrenheit, obviously.
Fahrenheit, yeah.
-4 to what? 45-ish?
Yeah, so it goes from freezing cold to, oh, this is a nice day. But it only lasted for like an hour, and then it went back to freezing cold again.
That's insane, which is funny because I was going to tell a story that doesn't really sound as cool, but we were playing roller hockey out back of my house, right on the street, and I remember I don't think what season it was. I don't even know if it was like fall or spring or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of warm, and then a cold front came through. But it wasn't just like, oh, I dropped a couple degrees.
Cold wave.
Oh, a cold wave. It had to drop at least 10 to 15 degrees. And it just felt like the air changed, and everyone looked at everyone. And I was like, did you just feel that? And everyone was like, it just got real cold. And I was like, I know. Why? I don't know.
Why?
But it was just crazy.
Was there any rain? Was it like a squall line or anything?
No. I mean, there were some dark clouds in the sky, but no rain came. It wasn't very moisture.
No thunderstorms? It wasn't like a thunder snow or anything?
No. The ever elusive thunder snow.
I've seen thunder snow.
So have I. It's they call it the ever elusive thunder snow, and it's weathermen like go nuts.
Oh, thunder snow!
Weathermen are like, there's gonna be thunder snow. Like, down under the desk, you don't know what their hands are, and you're like, what's this guy doing? You sure you're doing that right, hurricane? There, you know what I mean?
His divining rod is thumping.
Oof, oof, beating it,
beating that weather.
Do you know how they predict weather?
They probably guess randomly. Dartboard.
Yep.
No, they have weather balloons, and they have different stations. They can tell where the wind's blowing, what the humidity in the air is, and whether it's going to collide with a high pressure, low pressure, cold, or hot area, right?
Exactly. They do this with jet streams, common mountain ranges, things that they can predict and guesstimate off of. Then they use machines that do most of the work for them.
Oh, good, because they have like 20 different models.
Yes, they do, and each one has a different model, and they run it through all the models. Do you know that these models run like petabytes per minute?
Ooh, I love petabytes.
I know you do. That's when I saw petabyte. I was like, oh, I can't wait to tell the Pander man he's gonna unpander his pants. They run like super computers that run petabytes of data per second. Not per second. I have no clue what it is. But it runs it through a machine, runs it through a model, and the model says, like, dry wind usually from the east mixes with cold air here to form the downpour and condensation. And one will be like, downwind here from condensation will often move more east before it actually condenses and precipitates. So either way, it's a tough call. But I did find that up till 5 years ago ish, maybe 8 years ago, because this could have been a 2 or 3 year old article. They used to do it in blocks. So they'd figure out a weather pattern for a system on a map, and they figure it out by block. It used to be a 350-mile block. They say in this 350-mile block,
like a Doppler radar,
it's going to rain. Right? It's going to rain, or it's not going to rain, or it's going to snow, or it's not going to snow. They've recently increased it to 100-mile radius. I know some weather stations claim they can get it within like 10 miles when they do your neighborhood and stuff. Like, oh, this county is going to get 69 degrees. This one's going to get 71 degrees. But I think it's a guesstimation based on the other blocks. Like, do you know what I mean?
It's an inference between the two. It's a summation or something.
It's not an actual guesstimate. So that was pretty interesting. But it's still crazy that they get it wrong, even though they have a 100-mile radius to guess it.
And they were really talking about is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
Ooh, is that who is in charge of weather?
They are one of the best sites to go to. They create these QPFs.
What's the anagram? NOAA or what?
NOAA, National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration. So they have these QPFs, which are quantitative precipitation forecasts. And they're best. They're the great.
Cough? You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm good. I turned away. I'm polite and cordial. So they give you different windows. They give you like a 24-hour window all the way up to a week. So you get to see how much rain is supposed to fall in your area, and it's pretty accurate. You can don't listen to Weather Channel. Go to NOAA.gov.
Word. What about weather.com?
That's probably a copy. It's a rip. It
sure is.
That's like going to Facebook for your news.
Oh, that's a bad decision right there. Yeah. I wanted to break it up before we get any really further and ask you a couple questions.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's just a quick would you rather.
I'll take it. Anywhere you give it to me.
All right.
In the ears, hopefully.
In fact, before I do that, I'm going to give you a tongue twister.
Better be weather related.
No, I had to look this
Climatologist.
one up. I looked up famous tongue twisters because I'm tired of getting the last three I gave you were not tongue twisters. They were just words.
I just owned them.
Well, I'd like you to own this one. Redder? Redder?
I'm ready.
I'm already
ready.
twisted looking at this thing.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
Don't twist.
A
And shout.
proper copper coffee pot.
Proper copper coffee pot?
Yeah.
Proper copper coffee pot? A proper copper coffee? Damn it.
It's pretty good.
It's
I
pretty
couldn't
good.
do it in my head.
Yeah, you have to reset your muscles.
A proper copper coffee. I can't do it once, so whatever. Whew, and now I'm ready for your would you rather. Try that one at home, folks. See if it'll get you out of being fired. Maybe if you get pulled over for a DUI, tell the cop if he can say this, you'll gladly go to jail. And if he can say it 3 times fast, you're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me I'm pandering saying.
So would you rather?
Would you rather never drink water ever again, or only be able to drink water now for the rest of your life?
Only drink water. That's easy. I almost do that right now.
You would never have another drink again? Like just water? Literally the plainest tasting beverage known to man.
I mean, water does have some elements in it.
Yeah, in Texas it does.
Most certainly there's heavy water, heavy rain.
It's bigger down there.
Yeah. What else? You have to drink like tea and sugary stuff and flavored stuff. I mean, everything has water in it technically.
Yeah, I know. All right, fine. How about this one? If you had to change something about water and it would affect the globe, it affects me, it affects everyone else, it affects the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Rain, would you rather all water smell slightly bad, a little bit like eggs, or would you rather all water slightly burn? Not eating holes in your body, but it definitely does feels unpleasant.
Like it doesn't damage anything, but it just feels like it burns.
Yeah.
Or it just
When
stinks.
you drink it. Or it just stinks to high hell. Not high hell, but stinks a little bit.
I think you would get used to the smell, so I'd do a smell.
That's weird, because you imagine a rainy day would ruin your life. Running a bath, suck. Drinking, everything would smell.
That's true.
The earth would smell, right?
Would it burn your
right?
insides?
When you cried, it would smell. Stop.
Someone's been smelling.
Babe, don't cry. You know what it does to me.
I have one for you.
Slightly burning. Oh, go ahead.
So, if you were a janitor, I'm just supposing here, would you clean a toilet and then poop in it, or would you poop in it and then clean it?
Poop it and then clean it.
Because you like a clean bathroom to remain clean.
No, I like cleaning poop. I wouldn't even flush. I could have found that baby right away. Fresh turd in there and just start working it with the old scrub brush.
That's that's you got to break it apart, right? With the handle.
Well, that's like
broomstick.
I mean, you always do if you got a shit and a shave and a shower. You always do them in that order, right?
Shit, shave, and shower.
Yeah.
I don't know that I always do them in that order.
Well, if you had to do all three and you had to pick an order, you're not showering and then pooping and then shaving. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Yeah,
right?
You definitely don't shave after you shower. That's just silly. But pooping could happen anywhere. It's one of those.
But if you have
mysterious
one of those things, folks.
That's like marathon runners. They just keep running, you know.
Only one did, I believe.
A little leakage. It's okay.
Woo.
Part of the sport.
Yes, it is. Hey, Sporto. What's that coming out of here? Ooh.
That's why they such short shorts.
That's why they do.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they want to stay light.
Drop and run.
They don't want to carry an extra load.
What do you like better, hurricanes or tornadoes?
I guess tornadoes I never saw one. Like I was never really near one, but it's kind of like by surprise. You wouldn't expect it to happen. So a hurricane you can actually prepare for and run from. I think I'd prefer a hurricane, even though it's probably more dangerous.
No. Which do you like better?
Which do I like? I'm going to say I like a hurricane. But the child me says tornado because of Twister, the movie.
I like tornadoes better, and I'm an adult-ish.
Kind of.
They're much cooler. They have faster wind. They're more spontaneous. They're more badass. They're more violent. They disappear suddenly. They're harder to predict.
You can
How do
actually
you not
protect
love
yourself from
tornadoes?
a tornado by going under. It's like a second, right? Within minutes, you can be gone. So like you can dodge it. It's something you can
I don't
react to.
know. I don't know that you can. I'm not really sure.
I mean, you can go into your cellar, right? You have a hurricane.
Yeah, cellar door or whatever she says.
Mhm.
Most beautiful words in the English language or some corny stuff.
Does she say that, Helen Hunt?
No, oh my god,
forget her
she was
name?
the child actor from E.T. Yeah, I forgot her name. She was an Adam Sandler.
Drew
50 First
Barrymore?
Dates. Yeah, thank you. I literally
You're
picked
welcome.
her most polar movies. She was the child in E.T. She was also Adam Sandler's girlfriend in 50 First Dates.
Like 3 degrees of separation. We're gonna connect E.T. to Drew Barrymore.
50 First Dates. No, 50 First Dates. Drew Barrymore, you did it! Wow, it wasn't that hard. Anyway, she says it in Donnie Darko. I don't know how Donnie Darko came up again. It was my fault.
Yeah, it was her fault.
I apologize.
Water.
Well, I did want to talk a little more about more water or wind. Which is your favorite? It's probably wind because you're cool.
No, well,
It's water.
it's
Yeah,
water. Water is one
All
of
right,
those
let's finish up.
dynamic things that is always dynamic.
Oh, dude, water's the most badass thing in the planet.
Reflective,
I've
you can
taken
see it.
entire chemistry like semesters on water.
People try to
Seriously.
model water, and it's just like takes some ages.
No, you can't. Here, we'll get into water in one sec. I'll finish up my wind because I wanted to drop these stats for you.
Hit it.
Fastest hurricane wind ever recorded.
I'm gonna say 200 something.
Yeah, 253 we got with Cyclone Olivia. Shout out. I know she listens to the podcast
Yeah.
back in 96.
Sorry, Liv. Hurricane Stabler's coming. We'll save you.
Liv. Fastest tornado speed. Badass.
It's higher than a hurricane.
318.
Ooh, what's that? An F
Miles per hour.
F9 or
That's a
something?
gust.
What do you call that?
Like an F1.
Finger of God. It's a finger of God.
Finger of God. God's just fingering you, and you're crying, you're screaming, you're wishing he would stop, but he's fingering anyway. That one happened in OKC back in 99. Pretty badass.
Oklahoma City?
That's what I call OKC. Good call.
Huh.
When you type, I feel like you're trying to contradict me. And then sometimes when you don't say anything, I'm like, did he find out I'm right? Or is he waiting to spring some new information?
I don't fact check those. I think it just goes up to EF5, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, F5 is the highest. EF5, pronounced F5.
There's F, okay, F and EF5. I don't know what the difference is. Is it the same thing? Who added an E on top of it? Because I thought they were F5s.
I think it originally should be EF. Everyone just calls it F. I thought that F was like the lazy way to do it.
I like that the common populace will just be like, no, we're not going to add a letter here. We're just going to call it F.
It's an F.
But the guy's name is like the E. And he's like, no, you have to call it.
You're cutting out me. And everyone's like, when we say F, we're saying EF. He's like, yeah, but you're not pronouncing me.
Who earns?
Properly. Who earns? I did want to come. Oh, there's one real cool thing we skipped.
Oh, okay.
You know what albedo effect is?
Oh, albedo is like in graphics, it's the way things reflect off of objects.
That's badass because that's what it is in real life too.
Yes.
Shout out computer games.
Yeah.
So albedo is like when sunlight reflects off things on the Earth. It's a naturally occurring process. It keeps us from overheating a lot.
Yeah.
Clouds reflect things, like the ground reflects.
It's something like
trees.
Like a certain percentage hits the ground, but then probably more than half of it actually leaves the Earth.
Up.
Yeah.
It's not actually a lot because it gets trapped by the atmosphere.
It gets bounced. It tries to go up and it gets bounced back down. Then it hits the Earth again, gets bounced back. So it's like greenhouse gases effect.
Boom, 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 boom. We're just dropping terms. Everyone, science class, get rated. Albedo effect. They actually have it numbered. One being 100%. So it's a percentage-based thing.
Yep.
Do you know the albedo effect is on fresh asphalt? It's 0.04. That's a 4% reflection rate, right?
Oh.
What is it on worn asphalt? 12%. I thought that was really funny. It was 3 times more absorbent.
Fresh asphalt will be hotter than worn asphalt.
That's why when it's super black. You can look at the asphalt when it's fresh and it's like that crazy dark black.
That's when you wish you had brought slippers or flip-flops with you. Yeah.
You should have wore sandals.
Well, you run across it anyway and get blisters.
Green grass actually reflects 0.25, so that's like a quarter of the light that hits
25%. Okay.
it. Desert sand. You know why deserts are so hot?
That does not sound good. But
Sand reflects like 40%.
oh,
Yeah, didn't know that, did you?
those haboobs.
New concrete rocking that 0.55 ratio.
That's why they use the white stuff down here.
They do.
All that.
And
white
last
stuff.
but not least, you know what the number one reflector of light is on the Earth, naturally occurring?
Wind.
Fresh snow.
Oh yes, no, that would make sense.
It's like 0.8 or 0.9, depending on how fresh the snow is.
Huh.
That means it reflects like 90% of the light.
So
that's why polar regions stay cold as shit.
All the indirect light. That's like a climate change thing. If we lose more snow, then it's going to get hotter.
Lose more reflection. So check this out. You know what they're trying to do? Marine cloud brightening project. They want to inject something into the stratosphere aerosol that makes the clouds brighter and more reflective-y. Technical term there. Literally, they want to make the clouds more reflective.
They're going to fire like silver nitrate into the sky, are they? That does the opposite. Causes it to rain.
Sounds really, I was like, that's a bad idea, probably.
Yeah, that sounds bad. Silver nitrate? No.
Even just putting anything in the cloud sounds like a bad idea to me. What do I know?
Yeah, because you don't know what you're really doing. You're just taking a guess. I don't trust scientists. I don't trust doctors.
Neither do I. Do you know I brought up two really, really old school weather terms for today?
Oh, yeah? Pyroclastic flows. And?
We're going to do that, though. We're going to get down with some pyroclastic flow.
Yeah.
Some basaltic lava. Ooh.
Basalt. Yo.
We're going to get into... Do you know what a foxy is?
I don't know. What? A foxy?
An old Victorian term. If something's you're calling the weather, when referring to the weather, it's a real foxy out there. It's a misleadingly bright day, but it's freezing cold.
Foxy. Like a foxy woman is going to lure you in?
I think it's more like tricky, like clever, like a fox.
Like a
it
minx.
Looks real nice from inside your house, but you go outside and you're like, damn, it's cold. It's like 30 degrees. It looks so nice.
Well, it was 45 degrees a minute ago in Spearfish, North Dakota.
And then this one is a good one. A blankie. And I was like, that's the dumbest thing ever from Victoria English. Also, blankie.
Blankie? Like a blank?
Yeah. A little bit. It's a light snow that covers everything.
Like a blanket.
Like a blankie. I get it. Good call, Victoria old school. I think we should bring them back.
Bring what back?
They're good terms.
Those terms?
Sure. Yeah, they're from like Victoria, England or something.
The terms that I found were like
better.
Zud.
What the hell's a Zud?
Zud's like a really difficult winter. The Mongolians.
I can open the dictionary backwards. I'm going to find it before a lot of other words.
The Mongolians use it. They're mainly like grazers, so they like a nomadic people almost. And Zud is like when it's like extremely cold. It kills all your livestock, and it's especially damaging to them because they rely on all their livestock to survive.
Damn, son.
Mongolian
Zud.
winter. Zud. I thought it was a sweet name. Like all the 3-letter words are taken. Zud? Oh, I've never seen Zud. It has a thud.
Sounds like a very like super black metal, doom metal.
Yeah.
Group.
Like he's like the lead zinger.
Like Zud, lead singer. He's telling them jokes, his folks. Zing, zing, zing. Weird. Boy. Oh, my last word was zephyr.
That's when I like
fly
zephyrs.
away on a light breeze. On my light breeze. Fly away on my light breeze. It's a beautiful
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
breeze. Oh yeah, that's a song too.
Yeah.
It's based on a Greek god or something.
Greek gods. Zephyrus is the god of wind. Hot air.
Is that true?
I have no idea.
Oh, dude, I thought you knew.
I hope so.
So we're going to move on to water, our last of the real elements.
God of wind. Greek god of wind. West wind. There's a god of the west wind. Is there a god of the east wind?
That's a godless wind over there.
Yeah. Screw the east wind. Ugh. Astraeus. Eurus. Eurus is the god. Is the Greek god of east wind. brother to the Zephyrus.
Sounds awful. I don't like him.
No one ever talks about you. Take me away on your
On your Eurus.
on your Eurus.
Eurus. That sounds terrible. So
spin of the Earth.
Oh,
we launch rockets. We can only launch them in one direction. Do you know this? Since the Earth is rotating and spinning.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you have to go with the spin kind of?
You have to go with the spin. Otherwise, you're fighting it for no reason.
Okay. Yeah, because the ground's going to keep coming at you.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Just throwing that in there.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Which?
Towards the east. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. I did that backwards. Yeah, because the Earth is rotating this way. You have to go.
Uh-huh. Ride the Zephyr to the space station.
So, water is extremely badass. If I took all of the Earth's breathable air and all of the Earth's water, what would there be more of?
Water.
Volume-wise. Volume. Ooh, you were wrong. Just barely.
Water's incompressible. You can compress the air.
We're not compressing anything. I told you all the volume.
Change the
general
rules.
volume.
Okay.
Someone did a art project where they figured out how much the volume of air, and then they did it in comparison to the Earth. So if you Google the volume of air and volume of water versus Earth, you'll get that cool Reddit post or whatever post. I just said Reddit because I figured it would make you be like, I love Reddit. Go check it out. I have to see. I can't even hear you type. What kind of
I know, you can't tell. I know, it's ridiculous.
It's insane.
Is there more oxygen in water or air? No, that's not it.
No, just artist.
Which has greater volume, atmosphere or oceans?
Yeah. Sure. And is he showing the picture? Because I think the picture is really cool. It's like the physical Earth, and then there's like these like bubbles on top of it. That
we'll just skip past this because it doesn't seem like there's no graphic here. Oh, it's made the wrong one. Old too. We're old.
That's fine. Anyway, so water is literally the most important thing for life on this planet. It's the most interesting chemical compound, maybe, and that's maybe because of how life has evolved and shown up here, that we're dependent on water because it's so unique. I think it's one of the craziest chemicals with some of the craziest properties that no one talks about because we think water's so boring. In fact, you said it was boring earlier. I didn't. You did.
Yeah, the water is polar, for one. Polar.
Water. Excuse me. By the way, I'm from Philadelphia.
Water.
Is polar.
Did I say water?
Did we both say water?
Oh, shit.
I brought you down. Everyone's turning off. They're like, what's water? Like something that's more wood?
Watery. But water is polar, so the microwave works on that principle, or you change the EM wave, which is pulling its poles either way. That's how it heats it. It spins it real quick. And then it also expands.
Enough, it's polar in one direction, too. It's the oxygen has a heavier pull than the hydrogen.
Oh, I did not know that. Yeah, because there's two, right? H2O.
Uh-huh. Yes, correct. And it actually, that's one of the main reasons it's a dissolving agent. It dissolves more things than almost any other 3 compound chemicals, I believe.
Why? Because it's like triangular? I'm curious. Like there's no simple explanation.
It's polar, and the oxygen has such a greater pull.
Huh.
So like when it meets another thing that has an uneven balance of electrons, I think it'll be like boop, 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 boop. That's why water dissolves more things than most other chemicals. Not everything. But
pretty awesome. We have 79% water?
Yeah, I forgot the number already.
I think it was that number
in the episode.
I'll take it.
Yeah, 79%.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing that's really cool about it is specific heat capacity.
It is. Yeah, they call it like thermal. What do they call it? Thermal momentum.
Okay.
It's like it can contain a lot of specific heat. So it's like it's once you set the temperature for water, it's like one of the hardest things to change.
Right. You can change it, obviously. You can boil it, but boiling water takes a damn lot of time and a damn lot of energy because of hydrogen bonds. You don't just have to break the chemical apart. You have to break its hydrogen bonds, which are so tiny. And I think is that strong or weak electromagnetic force?
If it doesn't have as many electrons, it's tighter, right? It's closer to the nucleus, so you're breaking
correct.
a tighter
They're
bond.
Intertwined. They actually they share a lot of surface area because of that. I forget what the numbers were. You can look it up. It's like a tilde symbol or something. It looks like a sperm, if you want me to be honest. But
EM force, I think, right?
Yeah, I think it is.
Electromagnetic force.
Yeah. There's sigma something. So anyway,
Sure, I'll take it.
sure. This also means it has one of the craziest boiling and freezing points of any chemical.
Why is it crazy?
Most hydrogen-based compounds, I think I was reading like hydrogen sulfide, hydrogen peroxide, hydrogen whatever, they'll have like, let's say, a crazy low freezing point, but then like their boiling point is like also crazy low. Like I wish I had the numbers in front of me. I was just reading the article. Like the numbers are here. Like it's like -40, and then once we get to 20, it'll boil. Like -50, and -8, and then it boils.
So you're saying
like
that
the range for water is huge. It's like crazy. It's like it shouldn't be like that. But because of the hydrogen bonds, it holds together, which also is the reason it has more surface tension than almost any other chemical compound. Which is crazy because the surface tension is what makes it pool together.
Huh. Have you ever seen the astronaut wring the washcloth on orbit with water in it?
I believe I have, and the water stays together and just kind of clumps.
Yeah, it actually he forces it like onto his hands, and then when he releases the ring, it like goes back into the sponge.
Yeah. Well, what's crazy because of the surface tension of water, they think that's the reason one of the reasons it gave life. Like our blood is made up of mostly water and stuff like that because the surface tension is so powerful, it pulls on everything leading up, and you can work against gravity very well. It's easy to work against gravity with water.
Someone said if you had like a chain of water, you could like raise it 33 feet in the air, like by surface tension alone.
You can't do that with most chemical compounds.
They're talking like for any chemical pumping it up there.
Right.
Not like holding it.
You can't do that with. No. You can hold water this high. But if you did it with other compounds, like you wouldn't be able to have your blood wouldn't be made of it. You couldn't be as tall as we are, as large as we are. And last but not least, another really cool thing was with the boiling and freezing. They think that because water is one of the few compounds that actually grows less dense when it freezes, because it forms crystals. Like in its natural form, it's all this like and water, but when it crystallizes, it expands, which most compounds don't. And it forms locked crystals. They become lighter than water. That's why ice cubes float. So what's crazy is the Earth's oceans, if they were like any other liquid, would freeze from the bottom to the top, killing all life, killing whatever sediments were at the bottom. But because ice reacts the way it does, like when the Earth goes through these ice ages and stuff, all the ice is at the top. The water is still liquid underneath. It allows like life to keep going.
So it persists life. It protects it.
Yeah, and it actually keeps it warm a little bit. Stuff beneath the ice surface is actually a tiny bit warmer than the freezing point. I was like, whoa, yeah, you're right.
It's kind of strange, like the evolution of people coming from salt water. Maybe it's a continual thing that we always come from salt water because that protects us from, protects us all living organisms from death.
I don't know. But either way, shout out water. Big fan of the podcast. What do you think is a taller thing? The Mariana Trench downwards or the highest mountain, Everest, upwards?
Mariana Trench.
Ooh, you did like 2,000 meters.
Yeah. How much pressure is down there?
1,100 atmospheric pressure.
Oh.
Mariana Trench. 1,100. So you can do the math with how many pounds that is, right? We figured that out.
Oh my God.
Hold on. So how many at one atmosphere when you're standing there? You got 14.7, did I say? Now I got to know. Check this out. 14.7 pounds.
Yeah.
Just pounds per square inch.
Sure. PSI.
So what is it if you multiply that by
16,000?
Shit. So if you were standing in the Mariana Trench, 10,000 some meters under the ocean.
Yeah. That's like 16,000. So that's like putting like a weight bar on end that was like on your chest and you're laying down. How many people would that be? That's,
I don't know.
That's like at least 70
people. Are they
people.
Fat women?
No.
They're fat women.
They
fantasize.
They could be fat. I don't fantasize about fat women. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Some people may enjoy that. BBW.
Wow. Yep.
Yep. As we found on the pornology episode, 80 people. So that's like 80 people standing on a weight bar that's just pointed directly at your chest. And that's going to poke right through you like nothing. You're dead.
Yeah, you're dead. True or false? We've had some submarines down there.
I'm gonna say true. They've captured stuff from down there, so they must have had something down there.
This is the crazier part. I read, and I don't know if this is false, but it's seemed true. That submarine went down there in 1960. They had a submarine that could withstand that much pressure.
And we never went back.
I don't know that they never went back. Maybe it was the first one, but check out submarine in the Mariana Trench. I don't know. Maybe that was the first. Either way, that's ridiculous.
Huh.
For the record,
James Cameron went down there. The record-breaking Mariana Trench dive.
What a son of a gun!
I have to find out how deep you
after
go.
What he was making Titanic.
He loves all the optics and stuff, so maybe they allowed him to go down there. He reached 6.8 miles deep.
Yo, baller, man! Oh man, out here. That's not Mariana Trench. I think that's Titanic.
Challenger Deep.
Okay.
Mariana Trench, Challenger Deep.
All right, fair enough. James. Anyway, sunlight reaches 1,000 meters. So this is
pitch black.
This is 10 times further than where sunlight stops.
They say there's organisms down there that feed off like the geothermic reactions, like volcanic fissures. Yeah. That's insane.
Oh, it's a whole different world. The water's great. I love it and everything. Last, I wanted to touch on some
water.
Dust.
More water. Wait.
More water. Let's go.
So the one thing that's curious is in the middle of the United States, like Nebraska, there's like 5 or 6 states that all feed off of aquifers. It's actually the same aquifer. It's called the Ogallala aquifer.
I guess because they don't have naturally occurring water.
They get some rain, but it's only like 10% that actually refills the aquifer. So they draw out 90% of this every year and don't refill. Only refills like 10% of whatever they draw out. So
I guess they can't. It's too much.
This thing is massive. So we have like 3 aquifers. There's one in Texas called Edward, and there's one in Florida called Floridian, and they cover like states, like entire states. And the Ogallala, it keeps getting drained, and it's 174,000 square miles wide.
All right, dude.
Yeah, there's a wasp that is like floating over there. I'm just gonna ignore it. It won't sting me. It's okay. It's all right. It's gonna sting me on the podcast. I'll be like, I'm curious where it came from because it was hiding in here. I'm gonna have to.
170,000 miles wide.
174. Yeah, that's square miles.
That doesn't make sense.
No, it's massive. It's from glacial ice water.
How does it get there?
It's been residing under I want to say not plates. It's just residing under the soil.
Oh, it's naturally occurring?
It's naturally occurring. So this has been in there for...
Oh, badass. Oh, okay.
Get away from me.
Love it. Oh, dude, I think I saw it. Oh, I saw it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
It's going to sting me. You tell me if it comes near me. I'm going to be pissed.
All right. I'm going to tell you. Oh, my God. No.
Holy shit. It's behind me somewhere. I have to get that effort.
It's like, you can't recreate this raw emotion. This is the most emotion we've seen from Dan in a while.
Oh, I hate this shit. So it's glacial water that's been there for, I'm going to say eons, but that's probably incorrect.
It's probably
thousands of years. And so we started draining from it, and we're using it to fuel our crops. So like all the corn that's grown in Nebraska, maybe eventually we're going to draw out all that water, and we won't be able to make any more crops in the center of the United States. Doesn't that sound terrible? All that high fructose corn syrup that we put in all our foods, and won't be able to make it from that anymore.
I saw your piece of paper. I know you wrote high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
Where are you going with this?
I'm just saying that this has a major food impact. If we run out of water in the aquifer, that
isn't high fructose corn syrup bad though? Yeah,
so it's actually going to save us probably from ourselves. Corn actually isn't that great for us anyway.
Really? In general? I know we can't digest it. One time I ate corn and pooped.
I know you did. And when you whisper, sometimes the mic doesn't pick it up, so you're going to have to say it a little louder now.
Shoot. Damn. One time I pooped, and I still had the whole cob in my poop. That's what I said, but I was whispering. It was funnier when I whispered.
Yeah, I know it was. You could probably hear it in the whisper, though. It's okay.
Yeah, so now you're going to hear it twice, I guess?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
So that... Which direction were you going next?
I was actually just going to talk about dust real quick.
Oh, okay. Haboobs?
Whoa, that's crazy. I wrote down haboob.
Everyone loves haboobs. I love the word.
A haboob is...
It's a dust formation that's caused by I think it was katabatic wind comes off and hits the ground. Downward wind that forces the dust into the sky. Katabatic. Oh yeah.
I didn't get that far. I just know it was a dust storm, usually in desert area.
Yeah.
Arid, dry regions.
They say to just turn off your AC, turn off your car, make sure you're not sucking in the dust, and then when you're done, it's like Mad Max. You just knock the dust out of there, suck it out of there, and you're good.
Huh. So did you know 33% of air pollution in those areas, anywhere there's like desert region, is actually just road disturbed dust?
Wow. Really?
Yeah. Up to. I mean, it could be 31%.
Like the Dust Bowl.
Yeah, but like when you're driving, that's what drives up most of the dust in the area. Because think about it. Is it mostly you walking? Probably not. Is it what you do in your house? Probably not.
Have you heard about this African dust? Apparently
different than regular dust?
No, well, the African dust gets kicked up over in Africa. And then, not the jet stream, but like the flow of, it's opposite the jet stream. It's like the hurricane path they take. So it takes that path, and the dust actually comes from Africa to Houston. It was here for the past 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Little
it
dust
lands on your cars and stuff?
It's like so fine that it like messes with people's asthma and like allergies and stuff.
Well, think about this. I guess the only dust that's making it across the entire ocean over to you is the more fine dust anyway.
It's almost like
heavier stuff.
Clouds, which are made of magical molecules known as water, which might happen actually if we run out of aquifers in the center of the country. It might be that we have dust bowls again. That might be a real thing we have to deal with.
In a way, if we didn't find these aquifers, what would be out there? So it's naturally occurring kind of dry, arid land?
I guess so. You just have
it's going to eventually come back to what it naturally is, right?
Dust.
I don't know. That's weird.
Weird thing to think about.
Did you know there's different kinds of dust?
No.
Yeah, they go cosmic dust, which is a dust that's from space, different creation of the planets and stuff like that. Like, there's dust out there to the point where scientists are constantly working against dust in space when they do their measurements. You know, when they try and take a big sample of like what's going on, and they try and read the microwave background activity. A lot of times the dust that's just hanging out in space gets in the way, is heated up, and will reflect back. And they're like, God damn it, dust again. And I don't know how they get around it. I'm sure they have to just try and find a different frequency or something.
They have
I don't know, but it's like an inconvenience. And it has to do a lot with when they're looking at a star and it's like kind of not clear. They have to, because dust reflects light too. Dust is a pain in the ass, but it's a universal constant. It's not just here.
That's like the James Webb telescope. It has a golden mirror on it that needs to have, it needs to be perfect. So they keep it in a, not a safe room, a clean room. So I think they plan to release it above your dust belt in the space sky realm to keep it away from
some dust. I'm sure they'll keep it away from most though. The next dust, this is the most common one, is called domestic dust. It's ground, soil, textiles, human hair, animal hair,
gross.
Dust mites, like the stuff that's made from us. Do you know what dust mites are? They're arachnid, almost arachnid-like, arachnid-like parasites. Yeah,
the little tiny spiders eating your face.
Well, they don't actually eat human skin. They eat dead cells.
Skin, but they're all over your face, eating your face right now. What was your face?
Well, there's probably dead skin here. Fine. Beautify me. When you're allergic to dust, you're actually allergic to them and the stuff they produce. And
oh, those bastards.
Yeah. Then there's fugitive dust, my favorite term.
Fugitive, runaway dust.
Yeah, it's also aeolian dust, which is the dust you were describing. It's like from deserts and stuff. It's silt, aerial blown dust. It's very fine.
African dust.
Yes, there you go. That's fugitive. And lastly, there's volcanic dust, which is a whole different breed.
Whole different beast.
No, I thought dust was pretty cool. Did you know they're actually doing stuff in Iraq, Iran, all those desert areas we talk about, where they actually have to figure out what to do about the dust. It's ruining crops, making people unhealthy, affecting asthma, like affecting day-to-day life. Hold on. I'm going to break it down for y'all. They named it. What do you think they named it?
Samoom.
Project Dust. Anyway, it's something they're doing that they have to control, I guess, certain, I don't know. Listen, I read that they have to try and control any particle that's under 500 micrometers. It's considered dust.
Huh. That's got to be a bitch.
Right?
Thank God we don't live there.
I think I saw dust over there. Are you sure, sir? Oh,
Yeah.
it was over there. That was a dust. I saw it.
They also have to deal with something called a simoom. SIMOOM. It's a
Didn't
heat
come
wave.
upon this, folks.
Yeah. So the reverse of a cold wave is a heat wave called a simoom, and it can get up to 129 degrees. So imagine the reverse of actually it's exactly it's the reverse of your hockey game, where you're standing there and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, it's 20 degrees hotter.
Oh, that's pretty.
I just like the name simoom.
That is a cool name.
We're gonna get hits from African and Middle Eastern countries now.
Right. Yeah, I think so. Shout out dust. I just think it's crazy that there's dust in space. And do you know they think space dust carries like microbes? Maybe not biological ones, but I mean, just different materials from different planets. The other crazy thing I came upon is, do you know that in clouds and things, they think there are their own microbes, biology, viruses, bacteria that exist only in clouds? I was like, hold on, excuse me? And they're just getting into the science of this. And then they think there are these same things in the water depths. They think there are these same things everywhere. And I'm like, God damn, it's like, they're everywhere.
Yeah, glacial viruses and bacteria. They think that by drilling into glacial areas, we're going to unleash these deadly viruses.
I think more that eventually heating and melting them. And drilling, you know what I mean?
Did you get into the hottest and coldest areas of the world?
No, but I saw your piece of paper. It had it.
Death Valley.
Is that the hottest in the world?
Yeah, 134 degrees Fahrenheit.
Very nuts.
So crazy. The craziness is that you can survive that. It's not terrible. So
you'll live.
Yeah, the human body can actually survive quite a bit. But it depends on the water content of the air. So dry air, you can actually survive 248 degrees Fahrenheit short term.
No, you can't.
Short term.
1 minute?
I don't know what short term is defined as.
Okay.
A few minutes.
Not okay.
Or if it's long term, you can do 158 degrees Fahrenheit.
Really?
For a long time, as long as you're drinking water. But
a hell of a lot of water.
The interesting thing about Death Valley, though, is that if you're drinking water, it's probably the same temperature as the air you're in.
That's gonna taste great.
Yeah, it actually is painful because at 107 degrees, it starts to. You can actually feel pain from it. So you'd have to have cooled water in order to drink for you to survive.
Weird.
Yeah, isn't that strange?
It is odd.
Yeah, even for stuff on the space station, you have to make sure it's touch temp. So touch temp is about 42 degrees Celsius.
Real quick, this is important before I forget.
Sure.
I went through a list of Mega Man bosses.
Oh yeah. Okay. Windman. Airman.
And I went through all of the bosses
Dustman.
Through the 15 games that they have on register.
Part Man.
In one series. Apparently, hold on. And I touched on all the ones that had to do with today's episode.
Today's? Okay.
Yeah, today's episode. Only today's episode. I'm not going to mention every boss. I got Iceman, Fireman, Heatman, Airman, Bubble Man. That was like borderline.
Oh yeah, he was. Bubbles. Yeah, I always laughed when I beat him.
Yeah. Magnet Man. We touched on the magnetosphere. Dust Man, Stone Man. We didn't talk about stones, but I guess
it's like I'm gonna get it.
Okay. Starman, Blizzard Man, Freeze Man, Frost Man. I really don't know how they're getting away with this many ice characters. Wind Man, Cloud Man, Solar Man, Magma Man, Tornado Man, and Aquaman, which might be a copyright problem. That's just in the guys that related to us. I thought, damn, Mega Man's deep. Mega Man's kind of about the Earth.
Earthy. Very much.
And it's weird because he's a robot from the future with a robot dog, but he still has the same Earth problems we do.
Huh. So relatable.
Anyway, we can get back to the regular scheduled programming.
Yeah. So that the temperatures were in dry air. If you're in water, it's completely different. So you can't survive over 115 Fahrenheit in water for short term. So that's not that hot. And if you're long term, 106, which is the threshold for pain.
What about hot bath water?
Well,
Doesn't it
like
get
a
up to like
jacuzzi?
110?
What temperature
Yeah,
is a
isn't it like,
jacuzzi?
I thought that was 110 to 115. I thought.
I have to remember how to
If my
spell
mouth
jacuzzi.
doesn't move, it doesn't count.
104, standard maximum temperature,
Oh.
which
Oh,
is
I thought it was
not
like
that
closer to
hot.
110.
It's very strange because, like, what, 98.6
Feels
is
really
body
boiling hot.
temperature?
Right.
That's only 6 degrees difference where you're like, oh,
Right.
that's hot.
Weird. Yeah, you're like, it's got to be 100 degrees hotter than my body temperature.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So heat kills us quicker than cold, which is weird.
Yeah. Antarctica is the coldest area. Negative 128 degrees Fahrenheit.
F that.
There was
Although 128, so negative 10 is cold, negative 20 is colder. 30. If I do it by increments of 10, I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. 50,
I'm guessing it's so cold that
whoa.
like nothing's interacting with your body at that point. Like as long as you have a protective layer, like
You think?
what's in the air, there's no moisture in the air to like convey the temperature difference to you.
Guess not. But what about the wind? If it hits you, doesn't it whisk away your top molecules?
Just
of
put
heat
on a
or whatever?
windbreaker. So
Just put on some nice windbreaker if you're going to Antarctica, folks.
there was a documentary called A Year on Ice that detailed the people that go to Antarctica at I think McMurdo. It's a research base. So they go in shifts. So like when winter hits, they're stuck there for like 6 months at a time.
Ooh.
So it's brutal. And one of the things that there's a couple things that are so weird is that like they had to travel in the middle of winter to like these I guess they're like satellite dishes, they're research posts.
Yeah, they're like outposts.
And they would drive and they'd have to be weary of ice and shifting, but also like seals would die out in that field. So you'd have these frozen seals that would just get stuck there. They'd just be frozen and they can't decompose because it's not hot enough.
Yeah.
So they have to be careful for like these speed bump dead seals.
Oh, like dead ones when you're driving.
Because they're just frozen there permanently. And it's like you can't move them. The other thing is that they're like their home base. Like when it got really bad, like the winds are terrible, like hurricane force winds. They had like an interlock, and the interlock was so cold that like they'd shut these like giant metal doors and be like, but like the inner chamber would still be too cold, and all the frost and stuff, all the snow would blow in. So there'd be like mounds of snow in this one room. It would just be like the snow room, and then they'd go through another door, and like they would just leave the snow in there. Like it like the wind is like rattling everything in there, and they're just like, well, screw it. Like there's no reason that. What are you gonna do? Shovel it out? It's not gonna matter.
Couldn't you do like 3 to 4 buildings inside buildings?
I guess you
Essentially,
could.
they were doing.
But you're also
At
like
that point, you're like insulated-ish.
I mean, they don't have temperature issues, and as long as the snow is not a hassle. I mean, it's a hassle, but as long as it's not a detriment, what are you gonna do?
I guess that's a good point. I don't know what you're gonna do. Good point.
Yeah.
Well, I did want to wrap this up with stellar nucleosynthesis. Is that okay?
Wrap it up. Who said you could wrap it up, Nick?
I haven't done that in a few years, but I thought maybe it's time.
No, not time, Nick. We didn't talk
All
about
right,
oil.
actually, first let's do. Oh, I was gonna say volcanoes.
I'll do oil.
Say real
Tectonic plates.
Yeah, you do oil. I'll like, yeah. Let's say.
So there's a key word I wanted to say. So oil is the biomaterial from ages ago. So like Pangea back then, I think it was like 335 million years ago. We were all one continent.
You sound off by a year or two, but I'll let it go.
Yeah, maybe a million years or so. And so all this like biomaterial existed before us. It got folded into the layers of the earth, and then it forms these. Yeah. Well, it gets
heated.
Heated, yeah, 300 degrees.
It gets pressed down towards the mantle, etc.
It gets formed into these kerogens, which is like a breakdown of biomaterial. And through the heat and pressure, it forms hydrocarbons. And the oil that we drill is under the mantle from like 1 to 2 miles deep. So somewhere in there is a sweet spot. And we're lucky enough to be on this earth when everything else has provided us oil, gasoline, and a lot of power. That's all I'm going to say.
Here's a weird thought. Everyone says it's crazy. We shouldn't be able to do that. We have dinosaur bones and stuff and fossils, and we're digging into the earth and sucking out all this oil and using it as fuel, and we don't have enough to supply the cars and things we have.
Mm-hmm.
It's very true.
We're going to run out.
Consider an alternative. What if we found out a way to make plants, like plants that grow on the surface of the earth? as fuel for cars.
I don't know.
Early on.
I don't know that you could
3,000 years ago.
synthetically make oil. Like,
no, I'm not talking about making oil. I'm saying using, let's say we use plants.
Biomass?
On the surface of the earth. Yeah, and made that your fuel. And we went through the Industrial Revolution, and we just started going through plants. Like, we were like, give me a plant. Let's start harvesting plants. We found a way to do it. This is pretty cool. That plant behind you, gone. Plant, I got somewhere on the porch. Oh, you got two. Oh my God, you got double the fuel. Well, let's just imagine we didn't know about oil or it wasn't there. We started doing this to plants. Do you think at this point we would have wiped the earth off of plants and been like, oops?
Trees?
Yeah. Is that possible?
I think it is.
So in a way, aren't we lucky we found oil and have it? Because we didn't destroy the earth entirely. We kind of just are raping it slowly.
I like how we're talking about it now, but in like 1,000 years, they're going to be like, our idiot ancestors stole all of our resources, and now we're going to die. Thanks, Nick and Dan.
No, they're going to find a new resource. They have to. Sunlight, plants. Like, wait, house plants? We didn't even know? I don't know.
We hope so.
Yeah, I hope so.
Then we didn't touch on earthquakes.
I didn't get there yet.
Oh.
So I want to do volcanoes.
Volcanoes? Oh, I hit it.
Ring of Fire, folks. Anyway, join us next week when we... So the Ring of Fire, everything on Earth is on tectonic plates. These slow-moving, shifting, almost liquid barriers. I say almost because they... Are you looking at something?
Yes, I am.
Relax.
No, keep going. Keep going. No, I am.
Anyway, they subvert under one another. They slide over one another. They run into each other, just like a couple of bulls hitting each other. And then what the hell's this? Over millions of years, you got mountains forming. Holy crap. So these tectonic plates are like, they're the action zones. I want to say there's like certain areas where big old plates run into each other, run under each other. They subvert each other. They do all sorts of crazy stuff. And they're not all over the earth like there's a million of them. There's dozens of them, right? Would you say dozens? I have no idea.
How many tectonic plates are there?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I think there are about a dozen.
30? I don't know, 20? I would guess between
No,
20
it's
and 30.
not that many.
1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
There's like
I want to say about a dozen.
Small ones. I'm going to say 20 or 30 because there's probably like 8 to 10 small ones no one really
The tiny
counts.
ones that no one cares about, sure.
Yeah, but they count.
I will give you that. They do count.
Is it right?
Make me count.
Okay, anyway. No, I don't.
No, there's a lot. Holy shit, there's a lot of them. Never mind. There's microplates, minor plates.
Oh, god damn it. Anyway,
plates.
These plates are constantly rubbing against each other, sliding into each other, under each other. There's different kind of fault zones. Ones that run against each other this way. I believe the ones in LA, run counter each other.
Yep.
Like they're running this way and this way. It's a different kind of fault. And two running this way is one, running this way is one.
Escape from
Subduction zones. Yep. Right. So when these faults get crazy, I mean, it's like millions and millions and millions of tons of cubic material just pushing into millions and millions and millions of tons of cubic material. Eventually, oh shit, stuff shifts. So, I mean, earthquake. I did it without words. I did it making noises.
Yeah, I liked it. That's good.
I've been drinking tonight. Good. So this is the crazier one. A lot of times these happen right near the ocean or right on the ocean. So imagine this plate's going under this plate, and see where this thumb is? Trapping water. Oh, snap. All that water got trapped? Not a big deal, right? Except that under the crust, the Earth's temperature reaches like 1,200 degrees Celsius. What? What happens to water? Oh, it boils and turns into a flaming hot, missile, okay? And it's going to shoot straight up through the crust and find the quickest release point and go boom all over your face. What happens is we get volcanoes. And that's why earthquakes and volcanoes happen along these fault lines. You can type in the Ring of Fire. You check it out. You see where these things happen, where they happen most. Different subduction zones lead to different kind of volcanoes, different kind of earthquakes. All very interesting, right?
Yeah. This is a Cola's super deep borehole. It found that there's water everywhere.
There's water everywhere.
It's crazy.
And that water hates getting hot and just smoking through the surface of the earth. Going crazy. Where's the biggest volcano in the world?
Kilauea? Yellowstone?
That's the biggest. That's the Yellowstone Park. Anyone who goes to Yellowstone Park, get ready to get vaporized, folks.
It's ready to pop.
ready to pop.
Coronal ejections.
Yeah, that bad boy. They have different kinds of volcanoes. So most volcanoes you think of are above the ground, and they form peaks and look like mountains.
Mm-hmm. This one's just floating.
So I don't remember the name of that kind of volcano.
Dome?
A conifer, a dome, shield or something.
Lava dome?
Yeah, lava dome. They explode. It's like a pimple. It squeezes everything underneath.
Yeah, they
lava
say
eventually comes up.
we're going to go extinct if that happens.
Do you know a couple biggies?
No, I don't.
So these dome volcanoes, they explode. Boom, spew lava everywhere. Lava isn't the big deal.
Like Pompeii?
Lava will kill your town like Pompeii. Hey, everyone at the base of the volcano,
Kilauea?
dead. Right.
Krakatoa?
Lava's going to kick some asses. Hold on. Krakatoa is an important one. What's real important is that these bad boys shoot so much ash into the air that it covers the earth and changes the global temperature. You know that? So anytime there's a major eruption, like in the 1800s, 1700s, 1900s,
it cools
they
down.
figure out how much it cools the earth globally. Doesn't sound like a lot, but like 0.2 degrees Celsius is huge.
Yeah, Holocene.
0.5. Yeah, 0.5 is also a big one.
Those bond events.
I think there was one that was negative 2
events.
degrees Celsius that just destroyed everything.
Yeah, that little change in temperature makes it so that not a lot of moisture gets in the air, and then it affects the rest of the world because not as much rain falls and can't make as many crops.
Think anyone in the area could be affected 8 degrees, 10 degrees, because you're talking about a global temperature.
That's true. Locality.
So, yeah, locality changes that quite a bit. Last but not least, on volcanoes, I will say Krakatoa, which is my favorite volcano, 1883, shout out Java Islands, exploded in May or April. I forget which. I didn't actually write it down. I'm going by memory here.
Yeah.
The loudest known sound on Earth.
Oh, I love this one. What's the stat? How far?
They heard it over 3,000 miles away.
And it was loud.
If you heard it 3,000 miles away, it was loud.
Yeah, but when you heard it 3,000 miles away, it was still loud. It was noticeable.
I didn't know that. I didn't get that stat. I
just
know it broke windows and buildings. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing that they said when that spearfish North Dakota chinook wind came in.
Oh, this stuff.
It got really hot and really cold really fast, so it was cracking windows as well.
That's crazy.
Things were like dying because they couldn't handle the temperature change. It was like surprisingly fast.
Interesting.
Also, when an earthquake happens, we didn't talk about tsunamis yet. I just like the stats.
Damn, you're right.
Yeah,
go for it.
So my whole theme is like power of water. Indian Ocean, the most recent one. Actually, not the most recent. It's the most major one.
Sri Lanka.
2004 Indian Ocean. This is one that hit all of those areas.
Sri Lanka.
Yeah, like I think it was Sri Lanka.
Yeah, I think it was
along the coast. The opposite coast of Vietnam.
There was one right after Sri Lanka. So yeah,
that killed. You know how many people it killed?
Well, probably
230,000.
That's 250,000 almost.
Holy crap! That's a lot of people.
Nuts.
Well, you think about the power of water, like moving that much water, like it just pulls you apart, and then has debris in it. It just.
So what happens? So the Earth is sitting like this, right? And then boom, everything moves. Well, ripples. The shock wave goes through the ocean, and the crazy part is, you can't even, like, it's not in the deep ocean. You don't just see a giant wave form. It's energy in the water.
Yep.
So the water doesn't look any different. But once it reaches the land where it's shallower, because like it's zigzagging, like this bad boy, like I'm giving you guys the graph, zigzag, zigzag, zigzag.
Yep.
Once we get to shallower water, the wave gets bigger because there's no room for the energy. So now it's forming this giant wave, and it just friggin' comes over everything and just.
And there's a documentary on the 2004 Indian Ocean one, and that one is actually not that frequent. The most recent one is actually in 2011. That was the Japanese one, which caused 18,000 deaths.
Okay, still a lot of people.
Yeah, but that cost more dollars, more damage,
right.
Because it hit a more populated area, and also
Japanese buildings are worth more too.
I guess so.
Probably.
And also, it hit the that nuclear plant. I think it's Fukushima.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they clean up from nuclear plants, which have to reside near large bodies of water to cool them down. They get hit by a tsunami, and then cause large
power outages, all sorts of
ecological
damage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And some people say that tsunami waves are as high as 30 feet, 9 meters. So imagine like a 3-story wave hitting you and then probably slowly ripping you apart with the debris inside of it.
Not even just the wave. I mean,
it's like seeing your family and not be able to, like,
with water.
You can get sucked out to sea and you're just floating around with debris. You're like wondering what's happening and can't swim.
How about you're in a 2-story? What if you're in a 2-story building and just fills with water? Like, where are you gonna go?
Yeah, at that point I'm just like, yeah, I couldn't plan for this. Come on.
Yeah,
nothing.
Good.
Yeah, nothing in the past would have made people prepare for that Indian Ocean one, because the previous ones were in Portugal and I think Indonesia. So the Portugal one was in 1755 and the other one was in Indonesia in 1883. So like major tsunami events, like you can't learn that in your lifetime. You won't see it. Yeah, so recording it and putting it in a documentary like they did for the 2004 one, massive.
It's helpful.
Yeah. People 100 years from now could look at it and say, oh crap, we gotta run. We gotta run now. And now down to our final topic. This has been a long one.
Pyroclastic flow?
Well, you love pyroclastic flows. In Pompeii, they got hit with a pyroclastic flow that just destroyed them instantly.
Hot ash, lava, a little bit of water, a little bit of rocks, a little bit of everything just flowing out front.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how fast they move. Do you know how fast it moves?
I want to say dozens of miles an hour, but I'm making that up.
Oh, it's faster than that. It's got to be like 100.
Really? I feel like it's like
430 miles per hour. Holy shit!
Are you sure?
That's what Wikipedia says. We don't trust Wikipedia. You look it up for yourself.
Okay. No, I mean I was thinking like 25 miles an hour. No.
Well, people couldn't run from it. They couldn't ride a horse away from it. They froze in their spot. They literally, other people in Pompeii are like, they're balled up. Dead. Yeah, and they're curling up. They're just like, oh, screw it, we're dead.
Well, that was the Vesuvius or Pompeii thing.
That was both.
They were all covered in their, you know what I mean? Like
they saw it and were like, whoa, fuck. Then they died.
Sometimes in their lover's arms or whatever, you know?
Yeah, in a brothel. The other thing.
Everyone somewhere.
Last true topic. This is going to take a little time. Not that much. I could see the wince on Nick's face. It's okay. You can deal with the pain. You're a strong man. Big strong man. Thunderstorms and producing hail.
Oh.
What's the biggest hail that's ever been dropped from a thunderstorm?
A 100-pound piece of hail from Xinu, China.
Whoa. Where'd you get that from?
Was that right?
No.
It's a stat I remember from when I was like 13.
Well, they say hail, like true hail, can be up to a pound. Like around a pound.
Okay, then this wasn't true hail.
So it's whatever. Like, yeah, it can be like, fit in the size of your palm. The other one you're talking about is a mega cryometeor. Mega cryometeor.
What is it?
Mega cryometeor?
Yeah, sure.
They say that these aren't naturally made. They don't know how they're made, but they can be up to 100 pounds. 6 feet in diameter. So, like, they're thinking, like, what could cause this? Back when airplanes were new and they had toilets on them, the toilets used a lot of water. All the crap? Mm-hmm. They could identify it by the cleaner that's in there because they're blue. It's blue water.
Right.
So, like, giant chunks of stuff would come down from an airplane and it'd be like massive hail. So they changed the design of toilets on airplanes. They made it
release tiny hail.
Yeah, now it goes. So it uses less water. That's the key. They used to actually have a lot of water in there. Now it just uses the suction. But they say that the planes still produce the hail because of the fuselage. You get a little buildup, and then you get these massive like 6-foot sections break free, and then they land on people, cars, houses, and you can destroy them.
What about regular thunderstorms? I felt like you were going to go somewhere with that.
I was going to go with like squall lines. So like a squall line is if you were to look at a thunderstorm moving across a plane, that you would see the squall line. So the squall line is like the interaction, and that's what produces a lot of tornadoes.
The dark spot where the rain and the storm is.
It also determines like whether you're getting a lot of rain or not. So if the squall line is moving like left to right, then people are seeing the thunderstorm pass quickly because the front is moving quickly.
You're talking about east to west?
Yes, east to west. in
So
the
left or right?
United
I was
States.
just making sure.
Yep.
Right. Left or right in the U.S. map.
So if
The
a
map
squall
being
line,
north. So I think it's-
if a squall line is directly over you and remains over you, you're at higher risk for tornadoes. You're also getting a lot of rain, and it's also pulling from the coast, from the humid air upwards and over land.
Hot air rises, baby.
So that's how difficult it is to determine how much water you're going to get, because the squall line can sit like it did during Harvey, or it can move.
Or it can move real quick. Rapid pace.
It's like a Derecho.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh my.
That's all I got. And I love lightning. I love thunder. Lightning forms ozone.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true.
I know you get that smell after a storm. I had no idea that was really true.
I don't know if you can actually smell ozone.
O3. I think you can. That's O3 formation, right?
Wait.
It smells a little bit like rain, I thought. Like there's a fresh post-rain smell. I'm telling you. And there's definitely different qualities different humans have. I might have a quality most humans don't. I'd like you to challenge that.
So ozone smells. There's a clean smell, I guess.
Fresh rain.
Yeah. Try oxygen.
O3, as I like to refer to it as.
Similar to that of chlorine.
I can see that.
Very light chlorine smell. That would make sense for ozone. And I assume...
You're welcome, folks at home.
You're welcome.
I actually love thunderstorms as well. I'm a big fan.
I like sitting in a chair on a porch and just watching them roll by, and then like you get little like microbursts and stuff, and just they're fun to watch.
A little lightning and stuff. Do you know what a microburst is?
Isn't that like a downward flow of air?
Yeah, force of wind. Oh, dude, sometimes it can mess planes up pretty bad.
Yeah, don't try to land in that. It's dangerous.
That's why they don't do it. Why your bachelor party was a dud. I've heard.
Yeah, because you couldn't make it there to see all the crazy shite that happened.
Microburst happened and I couldn't land.
I will say that this brand new keyboard, the Logitech Keys to Go, I'll say it. Bluetooth. It kept us silent. I could research everything that he was talking about, and it didn't disrupt the podcast. So I like this thing a lot. How much did it disrupt the podcast, Nick? Say it.
It didn't, but I figure if you could research before the episode starts.
You should see I have like 50 tabs open, and I was just like, screw it, I'll Google it.
So you open them right before you...
Yeah, I that's my setup. That's how I do it. Way to ruin it.
Do you know what stellar nucleosynthesis is?
Stellar.
Nucleosynthesis.
Nucleosynthesis. I don't know what stellar is.
Star.
No.
You know, star makes heat. It compresses hydrogen so hard.
Nuclear reaction.
It explodes. Right. It goes crazy.
The sun.
Eventually, it runs out of all the... That's stellar, a star.
Oh.
Runs out of hydrogen eventually. So it forces two hydrogens together and forms helium, and then compresses the helium in some crazy weighted scheme. Do you know this?
No.
I'm literally giving everyone shortcuts of what a star does. When a star does this, it starts consuming at an alarming rate. It goes much faster because it's literally shoving together.
It's like a supernova, but like inside the star.
Almost. So hold on, it'll get to the next level, and it'll start throwing two helium together if it has, and form carbon-22. Eventually, it runs out of carbon-22, and now it's happening faster every time it does this, and each element is getting heavier. So to do this, there's a inverse relationship of force of gravity and outward force of pressure from inside the star. So the star gets bigger. That's why they say when a star's life ends, it gets bigger.
Red
it's
giants.
Pressuring outward. You're right. So then it starts doing it with oxygen. Then it starts doing it with neon, magnesium, silicon.
It's breaking them down to smaller?
Dude, it's
larger.
No, bigger, larger. So eventually, it's doing like iron, which I think is the highest it can do. And at that point, it's pressing iron together to form like fusion. At that point, the star's so big, so powerful. Not all stars make this. Eventually, it collapses on itself and then just explodes, shedding off everything, all the elements it created. Well, did you know that's where all our elements come from?
From this stellar.
Where do you think we get iron? Yeah.
Huh.
And then eventually that stuff's just floating around in space, gets caught up in star systems. It all gets, mixed in equally when they make the planets. I mean, iron might collect more here, silicone here, methane here, nitrogen here. And that's eventually how your stars form, or rather stars and your planets.
Interesting.
I thought that's crazy as hell that literally stars dying creates all these heavier elements like nitrogen, neon, magnesium, silicon,
Because
iron,
of the
nickel.
energy contained in a star.
And then they die. So the star's death creates all these elements that we take for granted. Like carbon just shows up. Like carbon didn't just show up. The universe was just hydrogen for a while. Then it was helium, carbon-22, oxygen.
Huh.
And that's why the heavier elements are in such small amount. Because
So you're saying that like our sun, which is 4.6 billion years old, in 8 billion years, it's going to turn a red giant and almost hit us.
Ooh, yes, almost hit us. Get bigger and bigger and bigger.
And then the only place
correct.
we'll be able to live is Jupiter or Saturn, which makes it possible.
I think we'll be able to live whatever. If the podcast is a big enough success, I'll move further.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I'll buy my own planet.
I mean, it's pretty far. I'm not sure how it's going to work out.
Don't worry, we got
But
Moose.
no, I just...
Moose is with us.
Moose. But I just thought it was cool, and I wanted to end it on where like dead stardust like formed human and Earth, and kind of cool.
Yeah, I like
One
that.
of my favorite things.
That we are the universe.
We're
We
the
are the
exploded
world.
dead skeletons of stars and stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We're badass. So are you if you listen and subscribe to our podcast. Thank you for staying awake for 9 hours. How long was that episode?
That was a
10
long
hours.
episode, man.
Yeah, it was. God damn it, I need 100 steps to make my goal, and I have 6 minutes.
But I didn't even get to...
Yeah.
We're going to have a good night, guys. Bye.
We like you, folks.
We like you a lot.
You.
Good night.